channel. My name is Anna, and today I wanted to share my experience at the Bali Silent Meditation Retreat. And before I get into it, let me just go ahead and share with you my experiences with meditation. So yoga, I've done some yoga, but I'm not a big yogi person. And I also enjoy doing meditation, but I have like goldfish brain, and previously I could only do it for a few short minutes, and that was my goal. And overall, I had just started meditating probably this year. I wanted to go on a meditation retreat and just sort of disconnect and get more in tune with myself. And I really found that it really did help. And I decided, so I was looking at all these different ones, and I know it's popular to do like 10 days silent meditation retreats. They have some where I live in the Philippines, as well as Thailand, and Bali is where I noticed that it was like the most popular. But yeah, 10 days seemed like a lot for me. So I did 4 nights, 5 days at the Bali Meditation Retreat, and it's just about an hour north of Ubud in a very remote location, and it was amazing. I stayed in a women's dormitory for 25 USD a night. I'll go ahead and insert a clip here of the room, even though I wasn't supposed to have my phone out. That's my room, or my bed. So that's where I stayed. I really enjoyed it. It had very high ceilings, and it made it feel more open than what it was, as well as the open shower. It was so nice to like look out onto the rice paddies as you shower, and they had hot water, so that's a big plus. I also paid 37 USD for my meals, which was all you can eat vegan buffet basically, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and then you made your own tea. And so it cost me a total of $62 USD per day, which I thought was amazing considering everything that they provide for you. And it was a really nice experience. So let me just go ahead and go through our daily schedule. So in the morning, the gong goes off at 5:30 a.m. You heard that right, 5:30, which is kind of crazy. But, the first day that you're there is kind of like early, but you get used to it surprisingly, because you wake up and go to bed with the sun, basically. So 5:30 a.m. the gong goes off. 5:45 meditation class starts, and then from 5:45 until I think it's like 7:15, and then from 7:30 to 8:30 you're doing your yoga asana class. And so after your yoga class, you go and have breakfast, and after breakfast time, you have optional like free time to do whatever you want, but then they also do a complimentary trip to the hot and cold springs. So the hot and cold springs is like 5 minutes down the road, and they do a Monday through Friday daily trip, and I loved it so much. I went every single day. Like, I'm literally jumping in and out of the hot and cold springs. It was amazing. So that's the hot and cold springs, and then after you return, you have time for some lunch, and then after that, immediately you go into another meditation class, another yoga class, and then after that, it's time for dinner. By that time, it's sunset time. You enjoy that, and then go off to bed. So everyone's usually in bed by like 8 or 9, 9:30, things like that. But yeah, it was completely enjoyable. I thought I might have had a hard time with no cell phone. There was no internet access. Um, but yeah, it wasn't too hard. Like I don't have a lot of experience meditating. I don't have a lot of experience in yoga, but I felt like this was really beginner friendly. And I was also kind of afraid that, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to drive myself crazy. But it was actually a very peaceful experience. And something that I noticed that from the first day that I got there, I wasn't really appreciating or noticing any of like the smells or the sounds of nature or those little details. But the more days went on, I felt so great. And by the time I left, I felt light as a feather. It was so weird. I was walking through, and it's very lush green space, lots of flowers, um, lots of good scents all around because it is like a farm to table place. Everything that they serve you is grown there. And so, like, you're passing all these smells of different fruit plants and different flowers and different this and different that. So it was so nice that like as I was walking around, I was able to notice and take all of those things in. And at one point, I felt so light that I was like, man, am I feeling sleepy? No, that can't be because I've been so well rested while here. But that's when I realized I was at complete and total peace, which sounds kind of super duper hippie to say, but that was my experience. And so yeah, so what I've noticed is by the time I left, I was able to be more present. And I'm not saying that now that I'm back in the normal world that it's not, it's still difficult to be present sometimes, but I feel like I'm more mindful of it. I also felt like, so something else that has changed is that since I've left, I've been meditating every day. I'm still not great at it, like I'm still like 5 to 10 minutes, but also beforehand, I would always, meditate in the morning before my day started, and if I didn't, then I didn't meditate throughout the day. Now what I'm doing is that if I'm in an Uber or a Grab or what have you, on my way to somewhere, I'll try to fit in some meditation time, and I'm able to fit it in a little bit more easily, even though my attention span is still something that I need to work on. So that's been pretty enjoyable. And let's see. Also, something else which might be obvious is that whenever you don't have anything distracting you, um, you have more time to journal and more time to self-reflect and more time to see where your mind goes to. It's like that hamster that's running around. It's like there's some parts of your mind that keeps going back to a different time or space or location, and so you have time to sort of work those things out. So that was my experience with that. Also, since coming back, I've incorporated a plant-based diet just to see. I felt so great while I was on the meditation retreat. I was like, okay, my skin felt better. I felt so hydrated and nourished, refreshed, and my digestion was better. So I wanted to see if that was the meditation and the yoga that I was doing, or if that was also the diet. So I've incorporated that into my lifestyle, and it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be. And I feel kind of crazy to even say that this is what I'm doing because I love cheese, I love sour cream, I love like bacon, and before this my diet was like completely keto, so my diet has changed now, and I've incorporated more greens and things like that. So it's positive. It's positively affected my health as well. So yeah, so that's been my experiences with it. I want to insert a few clips, even though I wasn't supposed to be on my phone. I wanted to share this with y'all. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed my review, and if you guys have any additional questions about it, I know it's kind of like, for me, it was my first solo trip to do by myself, and so it was a big deal for me. So if you guys have any questions about it, please let me know. But I would highly, highly suggest this experience, especially if you're a newcomer and it might seem overwhelming or daunting for you. So yeah, go ahead and leave any questions below. Thank you. Bye.